All right, guys, so this story right here is absolutely fascinating, and I am glad that somebody finally is trying to hold Joy Reid accountable for her reckless, racist, hate-filled statements that she makes on a nightly basis on MSNBC. Okay, MSNBC is sponsoring hate. Okay, I think that is very, very, very clear. And the person holding Joy Reid responsible here is former NFL player Jack Brewer, okay, who runs a program for disadvantaged kids, mostly black kids, okay, black kids without fathers that need guidance. He is running a program for them to help them. Now, Jack Brewer was at this event with Ron DeSantis in which he was signing a anti-CRT bill, and the black kids from Jack Brewer's program were there at the signing. Now, Joy Reid, with her smart mouth, went on Twitter to try to accuse these kids of being subject to child abuse because they were there while Ron DeSantis was signing the bill. Okay, and apparently because of that comment from Joy Reid, that has put the kids in Jack Brewer's program in danger. And because of that, he has not only threatened to sue Joy Reid for her defamatory statements, but also has filed a police report on Joy Reid for putting his kids in danger and is demanding an apology. So we're going to talk about this because I think this is interesting. But before I get into this, I just want to let you guys know, if you like my channel, you'll support my channel, you can do so using the links in the description below. You support the Patreon, you support the PayPal, you support the merch. There are multiple ways to support the channel if you'd like to do so. So without further ado, let's actually play this video from Fox News of Jack Brewer explaining the incident and talking about what he wants out of Joy Reid. Take a look.
Former NFL player and philanthropist Jack Brewer demanding an apology from MSNBC host Joy Reid over her tweet suggesting this photo that you see right there on your screen of young boys holding signs critical against critical race theory amounts to child abuse.
Brewer Group CEO Jack Brewer joins us now. Jack, here is the tweet that Joy Reid posted. She says, "This misuse of black boys is tantamount to child abuse. I would really like to hear the backstory on who these kids were and how they wound up at a DeSantis event. Given how anti-black DeSantis is, using black children this way is extra sick." What would you like to say in response?
Man, every time, first off, this is too much. Every time I see this and hear this, it really is heartbreaking. She's talking about me. She's talking about my black kids that are in my program that come each and every day. Many who don't even have the resources to have decent meals every day. They come there to eat. Some of them don't have shoes, socks, underwear. We provide those. Many are suffering from the true effects of CRT. If she wants to know what CRT looks like, she can come to our facility. She can come to our after-school program, and she can see that these boys and girls, because they're black, they're told that if they get a 50 or a 60 on a test, that it's okay because they're black, and they're pushed through school and not ever challenged or not ever taught about the hope that this country offers. We teach the kids all of that. We're a godly program. We teach the word of God straight from the Bible, and we teach our kids to love God with all their heart and all their might and all their strength, and to love their neighbor as themselves, and to go out and serve the very communities that they live, whether it's picking up trash, whether it's feeding other folks, getting out and serving one another. Those are the principles we're about. And Joy Reid completely disrespected and humiliated me, and most importantly, my children. I don't want her money. I don't want MSNBC's money, but I do want to hold them accountable, because this is the same spirit that's piercing our nation from its core when it comes to our underserved, voiceless, fatherless black children. We have an epidemic in our country that I get on here and talk about a lot, with 18.6 million fatherless kids. The majority of my kids in my underserved program are fatherless. And so I do have a problem with that, because she doesn't realize what her voice is doing. She's spewing darkness, and someone needs to hold this woman accountable. And if God has anointed me to do that, I will move forward.
Yeah, so in a nutshell, Joy Reid decided to open her big mouth and to comment on those kids being at that event without having any context or clue why they were there in the first place. She just assumed that it was child abuse. When come to find out, these kids were part of Jack Brewer's program, in which he actually is in the streets helping the black community with a huge problem. Something that Joy Reid is probably not doing, okay? But because Joy Reid is a racist, right, she just automatically assumes that any children at an event featuring Ron DeSantis, because Ron DeSantis is anti-black, that has to be child abuse. They must be forced to be there against their will. He's simply using them as black props, right, to push his anti-black agenda. And the reason why Ron DeSantis is anti-black is because he's a Republican, right? He doesn't agree with Joy Reid. Anybody that Joy Reid doesn't agree with is anti-black, right? She would probably characterize Jack Brewer as anti-black, despite the work that he's doing in the black community. But anyways, let's read about this, because I think it's about time that Joy Reid is held accountable for some of the things that she says, because some of the things she says is actually really out of control. And it does have real world implications that she probably doesn't really even care about. But let's read here. Retired NFL player and philanthropist Jack Brewer has filed a police report and sent a letter to MSNBC host Joy Reid demanding an apology over her claims young black children associated with his education and mentorship programs were subjected to child abuse when pictured with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis during the signing of an anti-critical race theory bill. Quote, Ms. Reid's reckless statements place these kids in danger. Certain people motivated by Reid's comments are fiercely trying to figure out their identities, Brewer wrote in his letter to Reid, demanding a public apology by May 2nd. The families are forced to deal with harassment by the media and being shamed by members of the community for their presence at the event. My foundation was forced to add security and police presence at our facility. So yeah, now Joy Reid has cost this man money, okay, in which he has to hire security and police to be at his facilities, because you have these people that are basically trying to find the identities of these kids because they think they're trying to save these kids, right? They think these kids are being abused and being used as props for the Republican Party, right? Again, because Joy Reid said that. That's basically what she said, okay, with no evidence whatsoever, right? So now, again, this guy has incurred a cost because of a tweet that she put out, a reckless tweet, not knowing what the hell she's talking about, but all she knew is that I don't like seeing black children with Ron DeSantis, so therefore I'm just going to assume that they must be used as props, right? It must be child abuse going on here, okay, when the person that was behind them being there is actually helping the black community, right? So let's read more here. The letter was exclusively shared with Fox News Digital early Friday morning. Brewer, founder of the Jack Brewer Foundation, also filed a police report with the Coral Springs Police Department this week, which was reviewed by Fox News Digital. Police officers are now present at Brewer's facilities and are helping protect children commuting to and from tutoring and sports programs. So basically, again, Joy Reid is putting black children in danger, right, because of reckless tweets. But Joy Reid claims to be so pro-black. She's so pro-black that she disrupted this program from helping these black children, okay? Again, Joy Reid is literally one of the worst of the worst. She really is. The letter and police report follow Reid retweeting a message from Florida State Senator Sharon Jones last Friday, attacking DeSantis for black children being photographed at the event where the governor signed the Stop Woke bill into law. The tweet included a photo focusing on 3 black children holding anti-CRT signs who are members of programs Brewer founded, including the Serving Institute and the Heroes program. Quote, the misuse of black boys is tantamount to child abuse. I would really like to hear the backstory on who these kids were and how they wound up at a DeSantis event. Given how anti-black DeSantis is, using black children this way is extra sick, Reid said in her tweet. Brewer states in his letter to Reid that, quote, the only thing extra sick is the offensive tweet by Ms. Reid that slandered my name as a child abuser and recklessly and maliciously placed young kids in danger. Yeah, this could have an effect on his ability to recruit more young kids to be a part of his program, okay? Which means there's less kids' lives that can possibly be changed and helped because of Joy Reid's comments. Ms. Reid should know the kids she exposed are victims of schools that limit their education success based on their demographic makeup as a result of public schools embracing CRT, he continued. Reid updated her tweet last weekend saying that sources informed her the boys in the photo were from a Miami charter school and claimed they may not have known they were at the DeSantis event. Update, heard from a Florida source today that these black boys who America's most racist governor used as props came from Miami charter school. I won't name the name to spare them from MAGA harassments and threats, and that they may not have known in advance why they were there, Reid wrote. This is interesting Because if your source told you that, hey, these kids might not have known why they was at this event with DeSantis and they were from Miami Charter School, your source also should have told you that they were part of Jack Brewer's program. So I wonder why in the world did she leave that out? Well, she left that out because she's probably getting a lot of backlash from what she said. So in order to try to save face, she's trying to say, well, these kids don't know why they were there. These kids didn't know they were there to watch Ron DeSantis sign an anti-black bill. Therefore, they are being abused. But again, she's conveniently leaving out the fact that they're part of Jack Brewer's program, who's a black man, who obviously is partnered with DeSantis in some way, who DeSantis is cool with, is probably helping out and supporting in some way. But yeah, let's leave that out because that doesn't support the Ron DeSantis' anti-black narrative. Again, this woman is ridiculous. Brewer explained to Fox News Digital that the boys in the photo knew why they attended the DeSantis event and said in his letter to Reid that his program launched an in-depth CRT event for our students and parents, which prepared them for the realities of critical race theory at the start of the 2021 school year. Our kids are very aware of the divisive ideology of CRT and are instead trained on biblical based principles of equality and pouring into their anointing as mighty children of God, he wrote in the letter. Reid's tweets are still posted on her Twitter account as of Friday morning. Brewer said Friday that the children are facing blowback from within their own communities following Reid's comments. They're probably being called sellouts, right? They're probably being called sellouts and toms, okay, for going to this event. Poor kids, poor kids. But anyways, yeah, I don't want this video to be too long. You guys get the gist of what's going on here. Joy Reid should definitely apologize, for sure. She's wrong. She knows she's wrong. And she spoke too soon. She spoke without actually looking into who these kids were. She just assumed that they were being abused or being used as props by Ron DeSantis, okay, because he was signing an anti-CRT bill. Again, this type of stuff coming from Joy Reid, man, it's just par for the course. And the thing that really gets me is that I don't know why she's still on air. I really don't, because she's lost half of her viewership since her program debuted on MSNBC. How in the world do you lose half of your viewership and you still have a job? I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. It seems to me that Joy Reid simply only has a job because she's a black woman, right? That's it. I can't think of any other reason because she damn sure doesn't have an audience. People are not listening to her. People don't care about what she says, except a small group of radicals who are allegedly going after these kids and this guy's program. So again, why does she still have a job? Why does she still have a voice? And with the things that she's saying, the hatred that she's spewing, she seems to be more of a liability to MSNBC than an asset. She seems to be more trouble than what she's worth. So I think, in my opinion, that MSNBC should probably fire Joy Reid sooner or later before she lands them in some hot water for her reckless comments, to be quite honest with you. Because I'm not necessarily sure if this lawsuit will, go anywhere, but she definitely owes this man an apology for implying that his kids are being subject to child abuse, something that has cost his program more money and is probably subject to these kids to some mockery within their own communities for being a part of this program. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.